Good morning, everyone. It's another beautiful day here, and it's just Thursday. I think this has been the longest week in a long time for me. It's like maybe because the days are so filled. When I'm on the farm, it's like tuck tuck. It's morning, it's night. It's morning, it's night. It's morning, it's night. I often don't even know what day is it. Oh, week's already gone again. It's odd, right? When I'm more by myself and in my environment, and the days just go. It's like, can I have another 24 hours in this day? And here it seems like everything has slowed down. It's very interesting, even though I'm around so much more hubbub. Went to a soccer game last night, and of my oldest granddaughter. Yeah, they all like to play soccer. It's interesting because that's the sport that I grew up around, soccer and Formula One. My dad liked all that kind of stuff and motocross, and we would go real life stuff. Oh, dear me, the noise in some of these things. But again, yeah. So soccer, yeah. When soccer season was on, every weekend we'd go and watch soccer. Well, not us kids. We had other things to do at these places. But so we went and watched, and sadly her team lost. But there was one player on the other team that was, whoa, wow, that dude keeps going. He'll be really good someday. Anyway, and had another interesting. How is it? It's not every experience is always with my children, or not the grandkids, but my children. Not every experience with them is all that great. I have to say, where things come. I said, "What? Come again?" And I'm listening as a parent, and it had to do. I never encouraged my children to do sports when they were in school. Never, okay? Just didn't. I'm not one of those sports moms who, you know, every week, twice a week, 3 times a week, you pack up everything and sit on the sidelines to watch. It just wasn't. And, but I didn't. When they came and said, well, I want to do this or that, okay, all right, let's do it. Yeah. And I was always happy when they decided after one season, okay, just saying. And we were driving home, and we had a little, two things going on yesterday. And my granddaughter couldn't go to the pool because she needed to go to the soccer game. And she was upset. She was sad about it. And I said, well, what do you do? It's what it is. I couldn't change anything about that. And yeah, and I thought, well, that's not good for her to go to the game in the state of mind she's in right now. So, and I said, well, I said, there's absolutely nothing I can do about the situation. I said, but what can I do for you to feel better? Because you should be excited about your game now. I can tell you're struggling with that disappointment of not going to the pool, water park, whatever that was. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to be with you. I'll try to support you in your, disappointment right now, and then hopefully we'll make it through it together. And immediately she's like, oh, okay. And I said, let's just do something. And then everything was fine. Right? Yes, and within a short amount of time. I know that one wants to explain to them this and that, but that's not often, just doesn't help. And again, what's the situation, and where are you then just there with them, and hope that um, they'll work through that, and but not alone. Right? that one can sympathize, empathize with the disappointment, with the, oh, but I wanted to do that too. Yeah, yes, and they come out on the other side having worked through it. Yes. So then on the way home, I said, well, now we at least don't have to worry because they lost, so they're not going on to the next part of the uh, continuing playing soccer until next season. But there's still some teams out there now, for going going for the first place or whatever. And my daughter said, well, if we would have done more sports or this or that, then we would be in better shape, or we're going to healthier. I'm going, what? Come again? I'll listen to her. Okay. Well, good thing you're driving. Otherwise, I'd have you on the floor right now and I'd tell you exactly what we all did. And I said, what about, when we homeschooled? I said, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of sports that you guys did and were part of. Hello?
I have to get on a meeting at 7:30, so in like 25 minutes.
Can you send them all down? Are they still sleeping?
Abby just came down, but I'm just in case. I don't know when John's gonna get here, but it's gonna go for an hour. This meeting will.
7:30? Okay, I'll be up. Do you want me to? You have one? You were stressed out or something.
I don't know. I haven't been. I can't tell you the last time I got one on my lip. They usually have it in my nose.
Hey.
Yeah, what the heck? And I gotta go meet all these people tonight at this parent meeting. I'm like, anyway, so I just had a meeting in like 25 minutes. So.
Okay. Do you want me to come up now?
No, like just at 7:30. Just make sure that there's somebody up there around 8:30, so that John, or I'll leave the door unlocked so he can come in if he gets here at 8:30. But this meeting is gonna be just very long, so.
Okay. All right.
Just
okay.
letting you know.
Okay.
But Abby's down here right now.
Oh. Well, maybe I'll just come in here in a moment. Okay. Thank you, dear. Gotta finish it up. So I just told her, I said, all the stuff that they did. I said, are you kidding me? I said, you guys grew up with all this healthy food, this, that. And then you all did martial arts for years and years and years, and all these other sports that you could choose from and did. And then in school, I supported you always when you wanted to do one of them. So it's like, I'm listening to her, I'm going, whoa, honey, where did that come from? And why are you blaming someone else on your own physical condition, which she's not in bad shape or whatever. I mean, they eat healthy, and I have no idea where that came from. And I thought, oh, I'll be quiet right now because my granddaughter was in the car too. But I said, let's talk about this. You don't get to do that. So I have these moments in my life where one of my children just thoughtlessly says something to me out of their own. Okay, so something's gone on. Okay, well, we're made aware of that. Now, yes, I could just let sleeping dogs lie. I don't like that. I don't like when people accuse me of something. I know that's not true. And immediately when I started counting down, okay, look all what we did. You guys got to crawl around the mountains and this and that. I said, what do you, that's not exercise? I said, you guys were more outside than inside when you were growing up. So where did this come from? And immediately she was like, I could tell she was going, ooh, I should not have said that. Yes. Well, anyway, so there's that. So let's see how much we have here. I got 25 minutes now before I'm needed. So we already did 31. Yep, so it's not always, right? But I'm not going to be all, oh, no, no. Mama's going to address that at a good time. All right. Deuteronomy 32. Listen, heavens, while I speak. Hear, earth, and the words that I shall say. May my teaching fall like the rain. May my word drop down like the dew, like showers on the grass, like light rain on the turf. For I shall proclaim the name of Yahweh. Oh, tell the greatness of our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are equitable. A trustworthy God who does no wrong. He is the honest, the upright one. They have acted perversely, those he fathered without blemish, a deceitful and underhand brood. Is this the return you make to Yahweh, O people brainless and unwise? Is this not your Father, who gave you being, who made you, by whom you subsist? Think back on the days of old, think over the years, down the ages, question your Father, let him explain to you, your elders, and let them tell you, when the Most High gave the nations each their heritage. Interesting that I just talked about, my daughter who suddenly saying something. I says, "Excuse me." I happen to know that's not true. I was there. Oh, I was there then. Right? And interesting on how here now God's giving Moses the last words in his life, right, to the people. Look, what there all is. That was so good given to you, and what are you making out of it? Aha. And who are you trying to pull into your unhappiness, your rebellious nature, your ways that are not permissible, are not the way that you live in peace and harmony together? Who are you pulling into then that you can blame? And the Israelites have been good at blaming God. Right? He got us out of Egypt. Now look how we live. Right? Yes, forgetting everything else. Interesting again, my experience I had yesterday and what we're reading today. Isn't it? I know. When he partitioned out the human race, he assigned the boundaries of nations according to the number of the children of God. But Yahweh's portion was his people. Jacob was to be the measure of his inheritance. That's an interesting part. In the desert he finds him, in the howling expanses of the wastelands. But he does call them of the children of God, all of them. But he made a special people, tried to have a special people to lead what? The rest of the world? Could be. In the desert he finds him, in the howling expanses of the wastelands. He protects him, rears him, guards him as the pupil of his eye. In the worst places. Therefore you make it through it. Like an eagle watching its nest, hovering over its young, he spreads out his wings to hold him. He supports him on his pinions. Yahweh alone is his guide, no alien god for him. He gives him the heights of the land to ride. He feeds him on the yield of the mountains. He gives him honey from the rock to taste, and oil from the flinty crag, curds from the cattle, milk from the flock, and the richness of the pasture, rams of Bashan's breed, and goats, the richness of the wheat kernel, the fermented blood of the grape for drink. Here you go, right? What did I tell my daughter? So let me tell you, I remember what we all did. Let me tell you how well I took care of you guys, physically and spiritually. Right? And here, exactly the same thing happening. Let me tell you what you all got. Yet, what do you find to complain about? Against me, Yahweh. Yes? Even though you've had it all, it was all there. Jacob has eaten to his heart's content. Yeshurun, grown fat, has now lashed out. You have grown fat, gross, bloated. He has disowned the God who made him, and dishonored the rock, his salvation, whose jealousy they aroused with foreigners. With things detestable they angered. Again, it's interesting on how the story of my daughter goes right along with this, where, there you go. You lived a good life. Then you got successful. Right? Then you let certain things slide. Right? And again, you're reaching far back to something that's 20 years old or whatever, and even more, and not realizing that, no, at that time, you did really, really well. You were given the guidance. You were given the life to be healthy, to be mobile and this and that. And now, so many years have passed, and you've become successful. We're been given and so much, worked for it as well, but let certain other things slide. I know people look at themselves and say, nobody else has anything to do with this. This is on me. Right? Yes. Interesting. Just a second. Interesting. Oh dear me, this is long. I gotta go. They sacrifice to demons who are not God, to gods hitherto unknown to them, the newcomers of yesterday, yes, and let other people suddenly become more important and have and follow their guidance. Then things suddenly don't go so well anymore, right? Yet who are they blaming? Okay. Whom their ancestors had never respected. You forgot the rock who fathered you, the God who made you. You no longer remember. Yahweh saw it, and in anger he spurned his sons and daughters. I shall hide my face from them, he said, and see what will become of them. For they are a deceitful brood, children with no loyalty in them. They have roused me to jealousy with a non-God. They have exasperated me with their idols. In my turn, I shall rouse them to jealousy with a non-people. I shall exasperate them with a stupid nation. Yes, a fire has blazed from my anger. It will burn right down to the depths of Sheol. It will devour the earth and all its produce. It will set fire on the footings of the mountains. Now again, would God really do it in this way? Because now I, as a parent, I'm going, I'm going to wait, I'm going to find my time and have that conversation with you. And when it comes to my daughter, and set some things right, and then tell her, why would you do that? Even I'm not going to turn away. I'm going to bite my time, wait for the right moment, and then I'm going to have a very constructive conversation with my daughter, and say, "Do you better never ever say something like that again." Still guiding my children. Why? I want them to guide their children well as well. Yes, and recognize where their problems actually are, and why are they so blind when it comes to that, and decide, oh, I'm just going to find the easiest target. Aha! There again, too. I believe God does the same thing, but he has to do it through whom? Messengers. Moses is dying. Who is God going to talk to? And Moses is worried about that. Who's going to guide the people after me? Are they strong enough? Have I taught them well enough? So again, it's not going to be God who's going to turn away completely and just gets angry. I don't believe that. And then suddenly throws his people to the wolves. I don't believe that. Moses is worried. Who's going to continue on? And again, then I have to say, Moses, did you teach your people well enough? You lived for so long. So here I am as a parent going, got to take care of that. I am going to take care of that. Because I don't want my daughter to do that to somebody else as well. So again, it came to the right place. This is all spiritual guidance. Now for older children. Yes? Okay. I shall hurl disasters on them. On them I shall use up all my arrows. They will be weakened by hunger, eaten away by plague, and the bitter scourge. Against them I shall send the fang of wild animals and the poison of snakes that glide in the dust. Outside the sword bereaves, while inside terror will reign. Oh, interesting. Young man and girl alike will perish, suckling and grey-beard both together. I should crush them to dust, I said. I should wipe out all my memory of them. Did I not fear the boasting of the enemy? But do not let their foes be mistaken. Do not let them say, we have got the upper hand and Yahweh plays no part in this. What a short-sighted nation this is. How thoroughly imperceptive. Yes, as long as I live, I'd like to see someone hijacking my children or grandchildren. Yeah. Were they wise, they would succeed. They would be able to read their destiny. How else could one man rout 1,000? How could two put 10,000 to flight? Were it not their rock has sold them, that Yahweh has delivered them up. But their rock is not like our rock. Our enemies cannot pray for us, for their vine springs from the stock of Sodom and from the groves of Gomorrah. Their grapes are poisonous grapes, their clusters are bitter, their wine is snake's poison, the viper's cruel venom, but he not safe with me, sealed inside my treasury. Vengeance is mine, I will pay them back, for the time when they make a false step. For the day of their ruin is close, doom is rushing towards them, for he will see to it that their power fails, that neither serf nor free man remains. For Yahweh will see his people righted, he will take pity on his servants. Oh, that's an interesting one. Right, there you go. It's like all this just sounds yeah. And there it says one sentence, and it's in parentheses. Interesting. Deuteronomy 32:36. For Yahweh will see his people righted, he will take pity on his servants. Well, there you go. That's the guidance. Where are their gods then? He will ask the rock where they sought the refuge, who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their libations. Let these arise and help you. Let these be the shelter above you. See now that I am he, and beside me there is no other God. It is I who deal death and life. When I have struck, it is I who heal. No one can rescue anyone from me. Oh, yes, I raise my hand to heaven. That was in parentheses again, that last part. No one can rescue anyone from me. Yes, I raise my hand to heaven, and I say, as surely as I live forever, when I have whetted my flashing sword, I shall enforce justice, I shall return vengeance to my foes. I shall take vengeance on my foes, I shall make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword will feed on flesh, the blood of the wounded and the prisoners, the disheveled heads of the enemy. Heaven rejoice with him, let all the children of God pay him homage. Nations rejoice with his people. Let God's envoys tell of his power, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will return vengeance to my foes. He will repay those who hate him and purify his people's country. Moses came with Joshua, son of Nun, and recited all the words of this song in the people's hearing. Okay, what a song. Again, it's what it is. The law, the source of life. When Moses had finished reciting these words to all Israel, he said to them, take all these words to heart. I intend them today to be evidence against you. You must order your children to keep and observe all the words of this law. You must not think of this as empty words, for the law is your life, and by its means you will live long in the country which you are crossing the Jordan to possess. Moses' death foretold. Yahweh spoke to Moses that same day and said to him, climb this mountain of the Abarim, Mount Nebo, in the country of Moab, opposite Jericho, and you the Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites as their domain. Die on the mountain you have climbed, and be gathered to your people, as your brother Aaron died on Mount Hor, and was gathered to his people, because with the other Israelites you broke faith with me at the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the desert of Zin, because you did not make my holiness clear to the Israelites. What did I just say before? You may only see the country from outside. You cannot enter it, the country which I am giving to the Israelites. It's the end of 32. So what was the last part of it? There was a consequence to the Moses not being able to teach the people, or at least guide the people. Right? Well, what are you going to do if the people don't want to listen? Right? But again, how much of it? You tell a child, if you do that, then you're going to get it. Then the child does it, and then nothing happens. Right? Yes, for example. Right? And everything's still great. The child still gets everything. Even though numerous times now things happened where the warning was there, right? And the consequence was premeditated in a way, but nothing then happens, right, to the child. There's no, well, then the child says, well, it's just all talk. Besides, when the child also realized that you want the child to do certain things but telling them lies, right, then, well, that too has consequences. Right? So I'm not sure. It's all that fear-mongering. This is not, again, about But then nothing happens in a way. People are just the way they are and complain about things that never happened and aren't true. Right? But somehow, their life now, some things are going wrong, and they need to find, they can't look at themselves and say, we've got to change. We need to, this is not working anymore. Hmm? Look at themselves and say, we need to make the change. Go and look outside of our life, our surroundings. We're the ones who are supposed to create a harmonious, peaceful place around us. People, other people are not required to do that. And again, what does one follow? To make sure that you at least are going in the right direction. The Ten Commandments, done. You have one God that you truly want to be connected to. The connection is there. It's just, you know, if one doesn't acknowledge it, then so be it. Right? So Moses, at the end of his life, he said, what do I give to people? Well, the best thing is I just give them all the consequences. This is what's going to happen. And, again, present God again in a way where the Israelites go, well, we already know that's not going to happen. We already know. Yes? Really, when it comes down to it, we're just going to have to be stronger than other people and see who's going to win if we decide again to take up our arms against somebody else that's in the way. Right? That's just how it is. It's how it is today. Anyway, I have to go. I'd like to talk some more, but I've got to go. My daughter has a meeting. My other daughter has a meeting going on, so got to go take care of the children a little earlier than usual. All right. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to you another time.